Today, I'm a size 10 to 12, and people are always surprised when I tell them that just 2 years ago I was a size 24. A lot of things that my family enjoyed were very difficult for me. Got quite a sporting family. My husband's a mountain climber, does a lot of rock climbing. We live right on the coast, so we did a lot of stand-up paddle boarding, kayaking and so forth. And I would feel really embarrassed. And my youngest child, I've got 5 children, but my youngest is 10 now, and he was quite embarrassed of his mum being so big. His friends were probably taking the mick a little bit. And I didn't feel like myself at all, but it was difficult. I love clothes. It was difficult to go shopping and find things that I wanted. It was difficult to go and eat anywhere because I would always think people were saying, look at that fat person, the size of the portions that they're having, or why is she having a pudding? She obviously does not need it. What took me to the point of deciding to go for surgery was I went to a friend's wedding and I'd got a lovely dress and I was feeling super. And we went, it was a beautiful day, a bit windy. We went outside to take photos, the official photos with the photographer, and felt fine. And then when she posted them on social media and I was tagged in them, the way the wind had blown my dress, it basically showed what my body was like, and I was mortified. I was mortified for myself, and I was so embarrassed for my friend that her wedding photos that she was going to look back on forever had shown me, and that I felt like I was bringing the whole tone of the photos down. And then it started me on a sort of journey of looking at myself and looking back at things, looking at the way that I'd stepped aside out of photos, that I had not got involved in different functions because I just felt like I would be looked at. I felt like I would be awkward and that I would embarrass people. And that's what led me, after a lot of soul searching, because I had been dieting lots, I'd been trying to fit exercise in, and nothing was working for years and years. So I'd kind of accepted it until this photo came up. And then I decided to look at weight loss surgery. When I decided that I had to lose weight to make myself feel better emotionally and to be better in my physical health, I, of course, thought about going to my doctor first, because that's what you do. And so I made an appointment, which in itself was pretty hard. And I went to my GP and I felt quite belittled by what they had to say. I was made to feel as if I wasn't doing enough, when I'd been seeing them for years about being overweight. When every time I went to my GP for any medical reason, they would always come back and say, well, you need to lose weight. Everything always came back to that. And then when I was going to ask them for help for losing weight, they told me, no, you need to be heavier. And it was shocking to me, to be quite honest. And I was basically told no. I received a letter saying no, I did not apply to their tier system. So I knew then that I would have to go privately. And it was just a case of looking at what I could afford and where was good and reliable and where had the best reviews and the best surgeons. I have got one friend who's previously had weight loss surgery in the UK via her GP, and it went really well for her, which was why originally I went to my own GP. Other than that, I didn't know anybody else who had gone privately, and certainly nobody who had admitted to have gone abroad, because some people are hesitant to talk about it because you get judged sometimes. So I just started off with Googling, first of all, which took me to places like Turkey, first and foremost. They seem to come up first, but a lot of the time it wasn't for very good reason. So I tried to put in more European words when I was doing searches, and I started looking on the Facebook pages, which are, they talk about where to avoid. So, you know, where people have had bad experiences. So I knew what to not look for. And in amongst all of those reviews on Facebook, there were people talking about their good experiences, and there was people talking about Weight Loss Riga. So that got me to their Facebook page, and then subsequently onto their website. And yeah, I had to look at what they were saying, what their options were. I had to look at the testimonials, which were both on the Facebook page and on the website, and it just resonated with me. These were clearly ordinary people, men and women, who had been suffering like I have been, or was at that time. And it felt right. Sometimes you've got to go with your gut, and it's really hard to decide to go abroad for surgery because it's a big surgery and you have to research, you have to make sure you know what you're getting into. It's a lifestyle change. It's not having weight loss surgery isn't a quick fix. You really do have to work with it. And I felt with Weight Loss Riga, you were offered all of the support that you would need for that. And you were offered a community of people who hung about after they'd gone through it. And for me, that spoke volumes because it meant that they'd had good experiences and they were wanting to be reached out to, and they were wanting to help other people like me. On the run up to flying out to Riga, for the 2 weeks before, when I started my LRD, it was actually really exciting. I'd had Christmas with my family and it'd been normal. I'd overeaten, I'd overindulged, I'd had lots to drink and lots of chocolates and all of that good stuff. And I knew that was going to change, that my habits were going to change afterwards. And the liver reduction diet that I was asked to go on for 2 weeks until my surgery, the 2 weeks before surgery, it was actually quite exciting at that point. It was really difficult, but by that time I'd found my place in the community on the Facebook page, and we were all giving each other so much support. And actually a group of us from the Facebook page who were all travelling out in the same month created a WhatsApp group. So everybody was going through it together, and I really did. It feels like that was part of a weight loss family through the people that I'd met on the Weight Loss Riga Facebook page. So I was going through the LRD, the liver reduction diet, and I was already starting to lose weight on that. It was exciting. I could see, it gave me a taste of the changes that were to come, and it just kept me going through it. And it took no time at all before I knew it. It was the day before the flight. And this was during COVID time, so I'd had all my COVID tests. It was a bit of a worry. I was trying to keep myself safe so I knew that I'd be able to go ahead with the surgery, but all went well. On the way out to Riga, I travelled alone. And it was the usual on the flight, asking for a belt extender, being worried about putting the tray down and it balancing on my stomach and not actually being able to put anything on it, the embarrassment of that, the embarrassment of shuffling up the aisle of the aeroplane and hitting people with my stomach. But it didn't matter as much because I knew that this was the start of my journey to do something about that. The flight went very well. I was met at the airport by a representative of Weight Loss Riga who took me quickly and safely to the hotel, which in itself was beautiful. It was a spa hotel, and I had some treatments while I was there, which was really nice. That evening, I had another COVID test done. One of the nurses came to the hotel and did a COVID test, and I also met some other people who were in the same hotel who were also going to be having surgery at the same time. So it gave me a chance to have a discussion with them, to talk about our fears and to talk about what we were excited about, and to just have somebody there who knew what it was like for me. And it was good for me as well to be able to support other people. In the morning when I went to the hospital, I was again collected, this time with other people. And it was a long day of tests, lots and lots of tests. And I know now more than what you would get in the UK. I had various ultrasounds done, scans, x-rays. I had an endoscopy to check my stomach lining. And I was very worried that they would find something, because I was worried about my health being a bigger person. I was worried they would find something which would make it that I couldn't go ahead with the surgery. But although things were found, I found out I had a cyst on my kidney. I found out I had gallstones. None of these were reasons to not go ahead with the surgery. So I got through all that. I was allowed a final meal, which I didn't go too mad with because I was just too excited about having surgery the next day. and I went to my hospital room, which I shared with another person, which was again lovely. Um, and I waited on the next day and had my surgery. It went very smoothly. The girls in the hospital that I was there with who were also having weight loss surgery were really supportive and really helped me do the things I needed to do to make sure recovery was good, which is mobilizing, making sure you're hydrating, and making sure that you do have your little yogurt drinks that they give you, because you've got to have energy to be able to move. And then on the way home, when it was time for me to go home, I went actually back to the hotel. I had an extra night at the hotel because I felt for me that that's what I wanted to do in case there was an issue. And as it goes, there was no issues. I didn't need to stay that extra night, but I'm glad I did because Riga's beautiful, especially in the snow, because being January, it was snowy there. And it's a bit of a fairy tale city. And it was just beautiful to look at. And I was taken back to the airport the next day. I had airport assistance, which I had booked. I wasn't really sure if I would need it, but I'm glad that I booked it because, again, it was good to have that support. And while I was not in pain, I was a bit uncomfortable. Again, I needed the extender on the way back, but it didn't feel as embarrassing this time. I think because I knew that I had started that journey, it didn't bother me as much. And I was so overjoyed to have made the friends that I'd made that I'm still in touch with now for a lot of them. Things just felt really different. And I got home and my husband and my youngest child greeted me at the airport. They came to pick me up. And it was just so exciting. Everyone was excited because it was the start for New Year and it was going to be the start of a new way of living for the family because I was actually going to be able to start joining in with the things that they enjoyed and that I knew I would enjoy. Since having the weight loss surgery has been fantastic. There has been struggles and there's been times that are hard, but they're completely overwhelmed by the amount of positivity and the amount of good things that have happened. I've climbed a mountain. I can stand up on my paddleboard. I have a wardrobe of clothes that I really need a 10-day week to be able to wear them all. I can run about with my son. He was during my journey over the past 2 years, he was doing this measurement of mum where he would hold me and he would say, "Oh, mum, I can touch my fingertips now." And, "Oh, look, mum, I can fold my fingers over." And now he's at, "Mum, I can hold my own elbows." And so he's proud of me. And I feel proud of myself when I'm walking into school, when I'm around his friends. I get involved more in social activities. I just feel so much better. I feel so much healthier at work. I work in the NHS, I'm patient facing. I used to feel sometimes patients, especially elderly ones, would say, "You're so big. How can you do this? How's a big person a nurse?" I'm not a nurse, I hasten to add, but my uniform makes them think that I was a nurse. And I would not know what to say. Now, when I'm doing my job, after I've had weight loss surgery and I'm a more healthy size and I look like a fit person, I feel that my patients have more trust in me. So I feel like I'm better at my job. I know I'm better at my job. And I know I'm better at my job because of the trust that the patients have in me, but also because I'm able to do more. When you work in a hospital, it's long days. I'm able to work harder. I don't get as tired as quickly. I've got so much more energy in all aspects of my life, in work, home, and play. When I was bigger, my husband, especially, who's a very fit person, he's a weightlifter as well as a mountain climber, he was concerned. He was really worried for my health. He was never bothered about my size. He's always been incredibly supportive of me and my choices, no matter what I do, but he was so worried that I was going to end up having a heart attack or a stroke. And he was so worried that my mental health was being affected by my weight. And he was right. It was, absolutely. I was depressed. And my children, although again, very supportive, they were worried about me. They didn't want to have a mum who was sad. They didn't want to have me not being involved in the things that they wanted to do. and most of my children are adults, apart from my one younger one. So for the older children, whilst they didn't need me to run about after them in the park, they were probably more concerned with the health concerns that come up when you're overweight, when you're very overweight. So having me lose the weight now, they're very happy. They were really worried about me going abroad. They were really worried about me having the surgery because they knew it was a big surgery. You know, the adults are able to do their own research, and they were, you know, they knew that it was a big surgery, but they also knew how much it was going to mean to me. So now that I've had it done and it's all gone well, they're very pleased that I made that step. And my husband is overjoyed that I now join him with the weightlifting. I join him up mountains and doing lots of different activities. And my children are loving seeing their new mum come out and seeing my confidence grow. They've been very supportive. The community has been incredibly important to me. And that's been from when I first started researching and first looked at Weight Loss Riga, the Facebook community, and then from there, the people who were going through the same thing as me, creating the WhatsApp group where we could support each other. And having that support's so important, because even if your family's supportive, having people around you who are going through the journey, especially going through the journey at the same time, and people who have gone through it and are now at the other side, to be able to ask them questions when you've got worries that you don't want to bother your family with, or you know they won't know the answer. People who have been through it and having that around you is incredibly important. Being able to be reassured, being able to have a new family of friends who are just there for you no matter what, and they're there night and day. There's always activity on the Weight Loss Riga Facebook page, so you never felt alone. You always felt that there was somebody there for you. And when I was making the decision to go down the surgical route with Weight Loss Riga, looking at the Facebook page, and there were so many people who were exactly the same as me, who are the same age, who decided that they were going to, it was now time to take the bull by the horns and make changes, to take their own life into their own hands, to make improvements in their standard of living. That it was inspiring. Everybody in the community is just so inspiring, and it's been such a privilege as well to be able to support new people in making their decisions and in making their journeys, and to be able to answer questions that people have had. And I know that my journey has helped other people. I know this through the contact and the people that have reached out to me and the friends that I've made. And I'm just, I feel so privileged to have been part of other people's journey as well as having my own journey. I would advise anybody who's considering weight loss surgery but is sitting on the fence and not quite sure if it's for them, to do the research, to look at the different testimonials, to read the reviews, to look at everything you can find. And that's what I did. And that's why in the end I chose Weight Loss Riga for my surgery. No regrets from having this surgery at all. The only regret I have, and I know that everybody says this that's gone through the surgery, I wish I'd done it earlier, but I've done it now, so I'm happy.